Not a Board of Education meeting for the Ithaca City School District. We do not need a quorum, but we are certainly notified the public that we're having a hearing today. We are having a hearing because, pursuant to education law, we were notified on October 11th, 2013 that New Roots Charter School is seeking an extension of its charter, and we, being the home school, are by state law have to have a hearing, a public hearing, to allow the community to provide input back to CSI, the Charter School Institute. We have no role here, meaning we are not going to have a discussion. We are not voting. We do not vote on this. We are merely abiding by state law and having a public hearing, and that is what we're going to do tonight. This is one opportunity to provide comments to CSI. Again, State University of New York, Charter School Institute, SUNY CSI. That is the next step in the New Roots charter extension renewal process. And they are the ones who will decide whether New Roots continues in its current form or does not. And we are merely going to do what we can to get the word back to Albany of what this community would like to say. Again, this is one form to do that. We are accepting comments into the district, Danielle via email, via letter. You can send them to us, and Danielle, what will we do at that point?
We will send all letters that we receive to the Charter Schools Institute, so feel free to drop them here in my office at 400 Lake Street, or email me directly at danielle.desilva@icfd.ph12.ny.us. Just please reference that you are writing regarding the new school charter. Thank you. This is
not an open-end time frame, Danielle. There's a limit, time limit of.
Please submit any letters within the next 13 days following this hearing, so that we can get them to the Institute in a timely manner.
We were notified October 10th, and we received the letter October 11th. We have to have a hearing within the next 30 days. This is approximately 2 weeks after that notice. Really, Charter School Institute from there can create their own timeline of when they want to do an approval, or whatever they will do. So we are going to move this along. Those who have signed up to speak have 2 minutes. We would ask that you introduce yourselves, your home school, and you will get your 2 minutes and go from there. The time is on the wall, so it's you will have 2 minutes from the time you state your name and your home school, and Danielle will start the clock. At the end of those 2 minutes, you will be done. We would probably ask you at that point to go ahead, and you can certainly exit. This is not a spectator sport. We will also ask, demand, and insist that this is in order to move as many people through here as possible. Cheering, applause only slows the process down. We want to get the word out. Again, cheering or booing or hissing speakers is disrespectful one way or the other, so it's not going to be tolerated. So fair warning. Crying of babies obviously is fair game, and that's there's no penalties there. So we're going to move forward. The way it's going to work, I do have my glasses, but Judy Maxwell, being a retired teacher, reads English much better than I do, and so
I like printing.
Neatness counts. If you have written a name that is unreadable, we're probably not going to spend a lot of time trying to decipher. So we will move on, and perhaps we can come back to you. Judy Max will read 2 names, basically the first speaker, then on deck, you're the next one up. We would ask that you move forward. Those speakers will come and sit at this desk, so you will be on camera, and we don't have to move the camera. So you will move up, sit at the desk, state your name, home district, anything else pertinent to your person, and then your 2 minutes. Then you will leave. The next person will come up. Judy Max will always read 2 names. You will always be announced, plus the next one on deck. And it's not our first rodeo, done this before, so we will move people through as fast as possible. Anything, did I miss anything?
I thought we might just introduce ourselves, even though this is not an official board meeting. But
Well, Jay, sure, go ahead, Jay.
all right, I'm
Feel
Jay
free.
True, and I am a board member of the Ithaca City School District.
Brad Granger, same.
Pat Waterloo, same.
Chris Malcolm, same.
Seth Peacock, board member.
Duval Brown, superintendent.
Danielle DeSilva, district clerk.
Judy Maxwell, board member.
Rob Ainsley, and I am the president of the board. And Judy Max, I think we can go ahead and start.
Okay, Tammy Tabone and Corinne Franz.
I'm Tammy Tabone, and we are from the Dryden School District. I've worked for the Ithaca School District for 26 years in a variety of capacities, and my daughter now attends New Roots. I will try to give my most unbiased opinion since my daughter has only been enrolled since September. She's a freshman. I can only speak for our experience thus far. But my daughter has never been interested in school, either academically or socially, to be quite blunt. In her words, she hated school. Her behavior at school has always been good, always been pleasant. Her driving teachers reported on her report cards that she was always good to work with. But she never got herself into trouble. But she was not only uninterested in school at any level, she dug her heels in and would not participate in class nor do her schoolwork. This, of course, led to bad grades, and we never really had positive parent-teacher conference. My daughter had been literally begging me for years to get her into another school, but since the tuition costs are high to go to a private school and to enroll outside the district, our options were limited. When I heard about New Roots Charter School, I, like many parents, was wary but interested, so I did my research and asked plenty of questions before making a decision. My daughter attended a workshop that New Roots offered this past summer, and she, to my surprise, asked to go to a second one that they offered. After her first day of school, she came home smiling, and I asked her how her day went. She replied, "It was awesome." And mind you, this is a child that when asked about how her trip to Disney World was, she replies, "It's okay." So for her to be this enthused about school made me really think that this may be the way to go for her. She actually tells me how her day is, what they've been learning, what her teachers are saying, and of course all about her new friends. Her whole attitude about school has changed, and I've noticed her vocabulary has matured in just a short period of time. We had a parent-teacher conference a couple of weeks ago.
Your time's up, and so that's a very good place to end.
Okay.
Obviously, the whole written comments can be submitted, and we'll move on. So go ahead, Judy.
Corinne, and then Frank. Radio, got it.
I am Corinne Franz from the Ithaca City School District. I am a founding member of the Coalition for Sustainable Schools.
Hang on, Corinne. I'm not seeing it. Well, we're
Bonus time.
We will be fair with everyone. Everyone's got two. Okay. We seeing it?
We can see it here.
We can see it there. Okay. Go ahead, Corinne.
Sorry about that.
10-second warning.
Go ahead, Corinne. We've got. Go ahead and start. There you go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I am a founding member of the Coalition for Sustainable Schools, passionate about high-quality public education and children. I am asking SUNY CSI, do not approve the 5-year renewal of the New Roots Charter. New Roots has not met its academic benchmarks nor its qualitative benchmarks. I have followed this school closely for the past 5 years. This has been a devoted public service, providing truly independent public oversight. It is possible that this charter school has been the most diligently followed in the entire state. All charter schools should be followed in the same way. In the process, I have been repeatedly marginalized. This may happen again tonight. Yet, here I am. Why? Because I believe in the public trust of the charter and of SUNY Board of Trustees. New Roots has a high yearly failure rate on Regents exams, a serious attendance problem, a declining enrollment problem, and a teacher retention problem. They are financially in the red, yet they declare they are outperforming the Ithaca City School District and meeting their own absolute measures. The renewal application is heavy with anecdotal statements. These cannot be the basis for renewal. What concerns me is that many of the data inaccuracies have already been brought to the attention of the school and SUNY CSI. It is a violation of charter law to not correct these, but they have not been corrected. This is a breach of the public trust. I therefore ask CSI to delve deeper and wider and conduct a truly independent accountability review. When you find that New Roots has failed to meet its academic and qualitative benchmarks, I ask you to close the school in accordance with SUNY's rigorous accountability mandate. What about the large number of students who are failed by this school and return to their home schools unable to graduate on time or with a Regents diploma? This is about the failure of the school, not the failure of the children.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Judy.
Frank, and then Henry Kramer.
I'm Frank Radio from ICSB. New Roots has a serious and growing attendance problem. Thorough examination of New Roots attendance data reveals a steady decline from a high of 86% attendance in 2011. For 2012-13, 44% of New Roots' 187 students were classified as chronically absent, which is defined as missing 28 or more days. 10% of this population missed 50 or more days. There are some students with over 100 days out of school. Students also tallied 3,800 tardies for the 2013 population of 187 students, with some arriving at the very end of the school day. Compare these rates with the 93 to 96% attendance reported by all other area high schools. Absenteeism has plagued the school from the start. At a recent New Roots Board of Trustees meeting, a new board member asked the principal what was being done about the growing attendance problem. The response was little more than silence. Attendance is closely associated with performance, especially on required benchmark Regents exams. If students do not attend school regularly, their performance suffers. Extremely low Regents test scores follow if students are not in class. If attendance reflects the motivation and engagement of high school students, what does this declining attendance situation say about this school? How can this school remain in, quote, good standing with New York State with such poor attendance? Attendance is also a rough indicator of success. Given their low Regents pass rates and low 69% graduation rate, it stands to reason that low attendance may be a root cause of New Roots failures. But most importantly, as pertains to this forum, attendance is one of the qualitative criteria used in determining whether a charter school should have its charter renewed. Given their poor attendance record, coupled with quantitative failures, the Charter Schools Institute should have no other option but not to renew the school's charter. And I would like to thank the school district for affording the privilege to the public to speak at one of their meetings, which privilege is no longer afforded the public at New Roots Charter School.
Thank you, Frank. Go ahead.
Henry Kramer, Pat, Harold.
Good evening. I'm Henry Kramer. I'm a former member of the ICSD board from 2001 to 2004. I'm not an opponent of charter schools when there are failing public schools, but we do not have failing public schools in Ithaca. Tonight, you are likely to hear many anecdotal speeches on how NRCS helped my kid. But the CSI charter mission for charter renewal is not to consider if parents love the school, but on whether certain statistical and achievement parameters by NRCS exceed those of the home district school, ICSD. By any reasonable standards, they do not. Regents results, graduation rates, turnover, etc. are statistical measures that are far more accurate than anecdotal evidence from advocates. NRCS statistical analysis is sometimes inconsistent, and their statistical analyses leave a lot to be desired. There are lies, damn lies, and then there are statistics. CSI needs to be sure the statistics are accurate and that they are consistent. New York State's master plan calls for school consolidation to save money. We accept the cost of charter schools and multiple resources to allow parents an outlet from failing schools, but ICSD is not a failing school district. The diversion of resources is not consistent with the state's master plan. No charter school should be funded or chartered within a successful school district. That was never the intent of the Charter School Act. The burden of proving exceeding ICSD performance rightly belongs to NRCS. To the extent that NRCS falls short of ICSD performance, To the extent it offers less in the way of educational achievement, it is unfair to our students and not a good reason for preserving New Roots.
Thank you, Henry.
Okay, Pat, and then Kai Haskins.
And go ahead, if you're next up, go ahead and move up to the chair closest to the table, and we'll keep moving. Thank you, Pat, and go ahead.
Hello, I'm Pat Eric of ICSD. You know, there's a renaissance of thinking and learning taking place in the Ithaca City School District. 6,000 thinkers driven by a quest for knowledge eye their future with enthusiasm and hope. They are supported in their effort by the outstanding leadership of our new superintendent, Dr. Lavelle Brown, his forward-thinking Board of Education, his excellent administrative teams, and teachers and staff among the most qualified and capable in New York State. The state-of-the-art technology, new performance arts and athletic facilities, dozens of new initiatives, such as graduation coaches, all contribute to ICSD's measurable success. Other high school alternative programs, such as LACS, BOCES, and Turning Points, continue to expand enrollment and offering to reach all high school students wherever they are in their quest for success. And then there's New Roots. Its charter requires that it must outperform IHS on critical benchmarks set by its chartering agency. Yet the actual, authentic, raw data shows that New Roots is not performing IHS or any of the feeder districts on any of its required benchmarks. New Roots does not even come close to the performance of our high school or other feeder districts. IHS has outperformed New Roots in every single Regents exam every year since NRCS opened in 2009. Graduation rates at New Roots paint the dimmest picture of all. Only 71% in 2012, only 67% in 2013 graduated from New Roots. IHS and LACS graduate about 90% each year. New York State has created a failing alternative to the outstanding high schools found in Ithaca. Diverting funds to keep the school going for another 5 years means lost opportunities for students who are far better served in their home district. Inaccurate data must be corrected. New York State report cards and the Coalition for Sustainable Schools.org contains all the numbers anyone needs to draw conclusions about this failing school. Thank you.
Kai, and then Ezra Davis.
Pretty much all of the people who would have New Roots shut down have based their opinions pretty much only on numbers, on outperformance numbers and such. But a lot of them have never even set foot in the New Roots building. I believe that the people are fooling themselves on a fundamental level who would base this on numbers. So, to those who would have New Roots shut down, I would invite you to drop by our school, sit in on a class, and see the interactions between students and teachers, and consider more than just the numbers, because you might change your mind. Thanks.
So your home district?
Oh, Ithaca High School.
Thank you. And there are chairs opening up in front, so please come sit. Go ahead.
Ezra Davis and Gwen Daniels.
Hi, I'm Ezra Davis. I live in Ithaca, so my home district is ICSD. I graduated from New Roots last year, and I'm studying engineering at Worcester Polytechnic. And I wanted to talk a little about why I chose New Roots and why I believe that it's special and should be chosen. Here are some of my reasons. The first amazing thing about New Roots is that it's a very strong community. People attending New Roots really want to be there, and the school attracts kids from up to an hour away. The school is small, so I know most of my teachers and my classmates well, and in turn they know me. I love that you can sit down next to anyone at lunch. Part of what makes that possible is that New Roots is incredibly accepting and encouraging of students' individuality. We all bring different backgrounds, interests, and talents with us to school. New Roots really embraces that by recognizing students' uniqueness and valuing their choices. It's a kind place, and people think about how their actions will affect others. In addition to valuing people's individuality, New Roots really encourages students to go and find it. It gives students the opportunity to choose their projects and how they meet the school's requirements. In my case, I learned about 3D design and modeling. I played the viola, ultimate frisbee, and table tennis. I was able to explore my interests both in and out of school, making me a much more self-directed learner and giving me skills in engineering. I'm grateful for having a school that listened to us students and made it possible to do the things that excited me. When I applied to college, I was worried that, as a new and unique school, New Roots would count against me. I applied to engineering schools and a few Ivy Leagues, and I got into a number of competitive schools. I was offered 4-year scholarships at all of them except for Brown. After completing my first term, I found the preparation, study skills, and my ability to be an independent learner that I gained at New Roots were more than up to the task. It's for these reasons that I believe that New Roots Charter School should be have its charter renewed. It provided my cohort and me a great educational experience and will continue to do so for many years into the future.
Thanks. Very good.
Gwen Daniels and Denise Gomber.
Hi, I'm Gwen Daniels. I'm a local substitute teacher for the district for the last 12 or so years, and an ardent supporter of any kind of education that actually reaches kids. I have anecdotal evidence, which maybe doesn't seem so great to some people, but my niece was suffering with her father down in Florida. She wasn't doing well. She didn't want to do any kind of school, and she is brilliant, and we somehow got her up into this community, and New Roots had her opening up and caring about her diploma and caring about moving forward, and it's something that our family really needed, because we really just didn't have that kind of a place. And as to the numbers and the benchmarks and all of these percentages that seem to paint a picture to people who don't know the people and the situation, I did want to add that a place like New Roots is not attracting necessarily kids who can definitely get all the way through in order to make those numbers bigger. It's actually creating a sense of wanting to be in the world and wanting to add themselves to the world. And sometimes I think those numbers don't end up panning out, but I still think that there's a really strong case for the kind of environment that it gives kids that would not normally even care about school or add themselves to the world in a way that would be meaningful. So I guess that's about all.
Thanks.
Denise Gomber, Pat Stevens.
You might be up here.
Pat Stevens.
And
Carrie DeLissa.
Pat Stevens, Home District, ICSD. I moved here 3 years ago from Colorado, and I've gone to New Roots for 1.5 years. And when I moved here, I went to my home district for a full year and went to New Roots in November. My home district denied me credits from my Colorado schools, and that set me back where I would be graduating pretty late. And I feel like I've done better at New Roots than I have at any other school, and I've never felt more supported in any of my dreams or opportunities, and they have more opportunities offered than any other district that I've heard of. And I just wish that the charter would be renewed for anyone who is in a situation like me. I'm the only super senior at New Roots, and yeah, I feel like it should be offered.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Carrie DeLissa, Maria Gimmer.
Hi, my name is Carrie DeLissa. I am a proud parent of 2 children at Cuba Heights Elementary School. I am also a president of the PTA at Cuba Heights Elementary School. And I'm a teacher at New Roots School. I love New Roots because of the students who come to us as individuals from 20 different districts, and they quickly become part of our family. We are able to tailor our teaching to their individual educational needs, and it's a wonderful learning community. And thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to speak about it. Thanks.
Thanks.
Maria Gimmer, Irene Case.
Hi, my name is Maria Gemma. My school district is Spencer Burnett. That's where I live, and I am a teacher at New Roots Charter School. I'm currently the Spanish teacher, and I just recently came back from a international humanitarian law campaign that was run through the Red Cross, and our kids did really well there. So therefore, Jessica Lane, who happens to be the regional youth service manager, asked me to read this letter here today. So, dear Mrs. Nelson Hodge, my name is Jessica Lane, Regional Youth Services Manager with the American Red Cross. I wanted to introduce myself and also to let you know what a great contribution you New Roots Charter School students have made to the IHL Action Campaign program. As you probably know, New Roots was the first action team in the nation last year, and it was one of 6 teams selected to attend the first national IHL Youth Symposium in Washington, D.C. in June. As I was selecting teams to implement the program last fall, I knew that New Roots Charter School was the right place due to its focus on social justice and human rights. The students we worked with were thoughtful, mature, conscientious, and creative. Not only were the students successful in being selected to attend to the National Youth Program, but their action campaign has been integrated in the National IHL Action Campaign program. A portion of their action campaign concerning the rights of prisoners of war will be used to teach students through the nation. Congratulations. I am also happy the Red Cross and New Roots will continue this partnership as we implement the program in Mrs. Gimma's Spanish class this year. We are lucky to be working with such committee faculty and students. Thank you kindly for your support. Thank you.
Irene Case and Kelly Doolittle.
Hello, my name is Irene Case and my home district is Ithaca City School District. When I was in 8th grade, I was going to school in South Korea, and I was going to middle school there, and I was the only American student in the whole school. The rest of them were Korean, and I was bullied because my culture was different. There was a lot of misunderstandings and conflicts, and I wanted to come to a school where that wouldn't happen. New Roots did this for me, and the community we create here is so amazing because everyone supports each other and everyone gets along well, for the most part. And what we're doing is that's important to issues like world peace, because if we can get the idea of understanding each other, understanding different cultures, accepting people that are different than us, that can go a long way in changing the world to make it a much better place. Wars happen because of misunderstandings and cultural differences. And if we can resolve those in this community now, we can create a campaign that can, or an attitude that can spark the whole world. And it's such an important thing to do, and numbers have nothing to do with that. I'm just gonna say, your test scores could be 0, and you could still be a great person that can change the world and that can create a positive difference in your community. And that is so important, and that cannot be stopped. We cannot be stopped in doing that, because it is such a crucial part to the well-being of the whole world, not just New York State, and not just Ithaca, and not just New Roots. Thank you.
Kelly Doolittle, Chris Martin.
Touche.
Kelly Doolittle, my son's home district was Southern Cayuga. And I would like to remind everybody, please remember that kids come from all over, not just ICSD district. My son, Bennett Purdy, New Roots class of 2013, is now a freshman at SUNY ESF in Syracuse. There's no doubt in our minds that New Roots played a critical role in helping Ben find out just who he was and how much he was capable of. New Roots was key in helping him accomplish the goals he had in mind for himself. Because of the inclusive culture at New Roots, he became a happy student. This wasn't true at his home school. Because of the outstanding curriculum at New Roots, he became a motivated student. Not so at his old school. Because of the innovations at New Roots, learning became a joyful experience. Again, not so at his old school. Would Ben have been an awesome kid if he hadn't gone to New Roots? Of course. But would he have been as happy and fulfilled? No way. At New Roots, he felt he was the center of a large group of kids and staff that constituted what pretty much amounted to a huge second family. A whole second family that surrounded him with knowledge, personal attention, caring, and validation. We're so grateful that Ben was able to have the New Roots high school experience. We only wish New Roots had been around when our daughter was going to high school. What a difference it could have made for her. Please keep New Roots Charter School open for all the other kids yet to come who aren't able to get this incredible high school experience at their hometown public schools. It made all the difference in the world to our son, and he would be the first to tell you the same if he were here today. Fortunately for us, he had the kind of high school education that motivated him to do his best, dream big, and go for those dreams. That's why he's busy working his tail off right now at SUNY ESF. Also want to share that every college Ben applied to was accepted. I was very impressed with his education at New Roots.
Chris Martin, Joe Giordano. What's your...
Chris Martin, Home District ICSD. Chris Martin, I am a mathematics teacher at New Roots Charter School. And I just want to speak from the experience of a new teacher. As I entered my classroom, one thing that was forefront in my mind, as is forefront in the mind of many teachers, is the Common Core state standards and how can I prepare my students for these new standards that will be rolling out. As I explored the resources available to me, I was amazed to discover in my classroom actually a plethora of occasionally dated but almost entirely core aligned materials already waiting for me, which I was stunned. Was this some prognostication that we'd be looking to the future, some grand master plan when we ordered these? It's possible, but I think what happened is much more likely is that we went out in the early days of the school and purchased materials that were consistent with the educational philosophy of New Roots. Inquiry-based learning, right? Classroom materials that promote higher order thinking. Right? And so when I opened up my textbooks, and they're completely aligned with the standards proposed by the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics, and promoting this reasoning and sense-making that NCTM requires of students, I was like, oh, of course. So New Roots has already been preparing for the Common Core since its very inception. And so I just want to say that it's an educational community that I'm very proud to be a part of. Thank you very much for your time.
Joe Giordano, Sue Schwartz.
Hi, I'm Joe Giordano. I've been in the city school district since I was a baby. And, you know, I find it very sad that some would marginalize my comments tonight because they're anecdotal. My daughter was slipping through the cracks at Ithaca High School. My son did well there. That was great. But my daughter was slipping through the cracks. She has an emotional disorder. She was on a 504 plan there. I worked very hard at getting my daughter the support she needed, and the Ithaca High did everything they could to help her. The fact is, it's a very big school. And frankly, I don't see why New Roots is required to be better, have better numbers than Ithaca City School District, but I'm not a doctor of education. I will say this, my daughter is now getting ready to go to college. I am amazed. She's home doing her SAT work right now. That this community, I beg this board to listen to this community, to give them some serious thought that statistics are not the only thing that they need to look at when they look at supporting this school. This school is a part of this community. It is very important that it continue its charter, and I am prepared financially to support it, and I'm working very hard to do that with everyone I know. And I beg this board to seriously consider supporting this new charter. Thanks.
Sue Schwartz, Dave Quinn Jacobs.
Hi, so my name is Sue Schwartz. I'm looking at one of my former teachers right in front of me. I grew up in Ithaca, went to South Hill Elementary School, Boynton Middle School, Ithaca High School. I have been teaching English at New Roots, and this is my 4th year. And I want to say that we are unique and lucky, and I think that every day that I work, because we have students from so many different districts, students get a fresh start when they come to our school. I have seen students transform, and you hear the stories tonight, and it's unfortunate that they have been marginalized as anecdotes, but I see it happen. I see students with learning disabilities totally shut down come to life in my classroom. I don't believe that all of the data that we've heard at the beginning of the night was entirely accurate, making our school to look like that we're not academically rigorous, because we are. But what we do is we engage all students. For example, tomorrow morning I will meet with a group of students to develop a restorative justice program for our school. The students have been going out in the community to meet people who are involved in restorative justice so they can make recommendations. We are constantly engaging the community in the work that we do. Students not only learn academically, but they learn how to work with each other. We don't have tracking in our classes. We don't have students falling through the cracks. It's an amazing opportunity for me to work there. And I absolutely support the charter. I'm very proud to work there. Thank you.
Dave Quinn Jacobs and Todd. Todd, look at his last name.
Hello, I'm a parent and a proud supporter of New Roots School. I've raised 3 boys over the last 25 years, and 2 of them have gone on to successful college and careers, and they were primarily homeschooled, and so is my son Sam, who has entered school for the first time as a freshman at New Roots, and the experience has been tremendous for him. As a parent, I was nervous about that and concerned, and he's safe. He feels safe, he feels welcome, and he feels engaged and involved, which is something that we've always tried for in the homeschooling community. And I kind of wish my 2 older boys had the chance to do the same thing. New Roots wasn't available for them, but it embodies the philosophy and a lot of the things that we worked hard for as homeschooling parents. And so I would hate to see that option disappear. I think in my professional life, I worked as a BOCES teacher in special ed many years ago, and I'm currently a CTO of a company that helps teachers with online professional learning for Common Core standards and things like that. We provide resources for teachers, and so I'm familiar with all the controversies about Common Core and about testing. I don't know the answers to any of those questions, but I do know that New Roots seems to work, and they have a rigorous plan. They do seem to have, it's written down and it's working. In all my interactions so far with the teachers, it seems like they're really following a plan, and it's working for the kids. I think the kids are the most eloquent speakers here for the school. Okay.
Thank you. Todd and Sebastian.
Hi, I'm Todd Kurzweil. I'm an Ithaca City resident. I'm also a teacher of 25 years in the South Seneca School District. My daughter went to New Roots the very first year in 09-010. I found very poor communication in the general sense, and then specifically an incident that happened with me. I went to a parent-teacher conference early on that I was invited to, even though I had met with her crew leader right before and was invited to come to this conference. Met at the conference, talked to my daughter about it afterwards. About 10 days later, I got a call from a secretary saying that the crew leader, one of the tenants of the school, her crew leader had been switched unilaterally without any parent input. And to find that out over the phone as an educator alarmed me greatly, because that was one of the issues that she was having, and I had talked to her about working together with the person, having good ideas, and doing that. But she wasn't even given the chance to do that. She went into the founder, principal, and she just made a unilateral decision without contacting the parents at all. She was also given an independent study from that teacher's class with no scope and sequence, and was left hanging trying to figure out what to do about that class at that time. I was not married to her mom at the time, but deeply involved, had joint custody. The principal also wrote a letter to the court at the time and did not turn that over to me per FERPA requirements. And I was shown that document on the stand in the courtroom that was used in a decision that hurt my family, hurt my immediate family here, and hurt my family far and near to this day. And your decisions harmed us till now. Thank you.
Did I pronounce your name correctly? And Charlie Esther.
I graduated at Sebastian Mason, and I graduated from New Roots. And frankly, all this talk of statistics leaves me with a really bad taste in my mouth, because I left my last school because there I was nothing but a statistic. I grew up in a traditional school system all the way up until 9th grade. I was in classrooms where I knew less than half of my students, my fellow students' names, and the teachers were still asking me what my name was in the last week of the school year. I grew up in exactly the kind of school system that the opposers expected me to go to, and I was drowning. I never felt loved or any sense of belonging or accepted. And then I came to New Roots, and I realized that my entire life, every choice I'd ever made, were all culminating to the inevitable climax of my school career in New Roots. If you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll spend its whole life believing that it's stupid. Albert Einstein said that, and I think it's a perfect representation of the purpose of New Roots. When I tried my hardest in my old school, and my hardest was never good enough, instead of being told that my best was great because it was my best, I was told that it wasn't the same as everyone else's best, and so I wasn't good enough. So eventually, I stopped trying. When I came to New Roots, they met my need. They met me at my own level and then slowly boosted me up. To this day, I can't write a math equation to save my life, but New Roots didn't look at me and say that the rest of me wasn't good enough. They didn't leave me behind. I can't shake a stick at the school without hitting someone who recognizes me, greets me by name, and wraps me up in a hug. There's not a single doubt in my mind that if New Roots hadn't come along, I would be dead. I felt lost in my old school, suffocated under the weight of my own stupidity that they insisted would hold me back, unless I was exactly as good at it as everyone else. If no other wish in my life comes true besides this, that New Roots will grow and thrive and save other children who feel like they would rather be dead than be in their old school, I will be happy.
Charlie Estelle, Sasha Ruth Rady. Charlie Estelle?
That's Charlie.
Oh, okay.
That's not Sasha over there. That's well, okay.
Sasha?
Never make assumptions. Okay. That's
Sasha is a Russian man's name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Thank you for that. It's waiting for the next.
I know. Spacia? Kaplan?
You're asking me to look at that and decide.
Sasha Ratty?
No.
What's
Okay.
the next?
Joaquin?
Yes.
There we go.
Giving honor to the board, well rounded see guys. Thank you for having us here. I work as Dean of Conduct. I've been given the task of taking all these creative students from many different places with many different perspectives and providing some kind of structure. Thank you, Tina. I'm trying my best to do what I can at New Roots. I've never seen the amount of diversity of student body in Ithaca. I've worked in the Ithaca City School District. Actually, I worked at the Youth Bureau, but I worked within the school as a tutor with the Paul Schiff Memorial Program and really enjoyed my time there. But I saw that the reality is that, you know, no disrespect to the efforts and the work that the Ithaca City School District is doing, there was a lot of students that weren't being successful at the Ithaca City School District. The truth is, there were some students, including IEP, 504, students of color, who were slipping, let's say, under some cracks, beneath some cracks, and it seemed like the system was not able to catch them. In working at New Roots Charter School, I see that there is a net, a place where students normally who would not be found in school districts, would not be able to do well, are finding a home, finding themselves able to do well. They're in an environment where they understand they're different, they come and felt different in other school districts. When they come to New Roots, they feel like they belong, they feel like they're a part of something. That type of environment is invaluable when you have public school systems very oriented towards getting students into the Ivy Leagues, getting the top 1% of a community that has the highest tax bracket doing well in your school, but you have a whole lot of other students falling beneath cracks. New Roots catches those cracks from Dryden, Newfield, Enfield, Ithaca. It's a place where people can come and feel like they belong and feel like there's something, and we don't track. We don't have the honors and the regents, which can create an environment of competition. Who's better? You know, who's more capable because their parents make what kind of money. Those type of realities happen in public schools. But at New Roots Charter School, our public school, we try to create a different type of environment, and I've seen that happen, so I'm proud to work there.
SUNJ?
Again, we're not deciphering. Go ahead, Judy.
Okay. Eric Wepley?
Oakley. Eric.
And another one, Judy?
In the Morton.
We're good? Go ahead.
So, my name is Eric Wepley. I'm a first-year special education teacher at New Roots Charter School. And being here since August, I'm an Ithaca College graduate, moving back into the area. I have to say the number one thing I've noticed about New Roots, that facts and figures, stats and opinions, besides my own in this one, professionalism. They gave me a chance where other districts where I applied in this area did not. And with that, in my own regards, I have nothing but love and compassion for this school. Students come in day and night, all hours. I made parent phone calls 7 to 8 last night to make sure that the parents understood not what the homework assignments were, not what the test scores were, but how are they doing, because I noticed they had a good day. And the thoughts and opinions of that parent said I've never had that phone call before. And I know I'm going to keep this brief, and just for the sake of time, but that's the kind of attitude and professionalism I feel New Roots brings, both as a new teacher, someone new to the Ithaca community, outside the colleges, and someone in the special education field. Thank you.
Coming into New Roots fairly recently. And I have to say, I actually am a yoga instructor, and I've been doing so for about 2 years, and I have recently been invited to come into some of the New Roots classes to share some different kinds of techniques with them. The environment that I have found at New Roots is vastly different than any environment, school or otherwise, that I've seen in a professional setting in a long time. I myself was actually labeled as a gifted and talented child in my elementary school, and there was almost little to no support for someone like me who didn't fit into the common mold. And this is not just gifted and talented children. This is also those with IEPs, those with learning disabilities that, frankly, public schools just have a hard time adjusting to and have a hard time incorporating into your regular classroom settings. I can only speak from my very brief experience, but I will say that every single time that I come to this school, I find that the instructors have absolutely nothing but care and compassion for these children. I also find that these children, many of whom have been labeled as problem children, This is not the way that they respond to volunteers that have come into their school. I have been treated with nothing but the highest degree of respect and the most professional conduct every single time that I've been in this school. I agree wholeheartedly with what this school is trying to establish. I believe that things like this take more time than what they've had to do successfully. Major changes in the scientific community typically are taking 10 to 15 years to even come in to printed textbooks. And so that being said, I actually am a very big advocate for the continuation of the charter of this school. Thank you.
Dallas Wiki?
I'm Sam.
Oh, you're Sam. Dallas Wiki is
Next slide. There we go. All right. So I'm Sam. Hello. And I'm from the Newfield district. I'm going to be pretty brief. I just have two things to say. First is that the skills that I've learned at New Roots, specifically in my senior year at New Roots, which was last year, I graduated last year. The skills that I learned at New Roots have really helped me to gain a foothold in my college courses that I'm taking now at TC3. I really think that I feel really comfortable in my classes, and I think it's due to my preparation at New Roots. The second thing I'd like to say is that just the environment at New Roots, and by that I mean the faculty, students, the atmosphere, have really, over the past 4 years, enriched my life, and I really believe that into the future they will continue to indirectly enrich my life as well. And I'd just like to say that I really hope to see kids from my community having the same positive experience from the school. So yeah, thank you. Thanks, sir.
Dallas Wiki and Brooke Greenhouse.
Well, I'm Dallas Wiki, and I'm a senior this year, and I attended Dryden from pre-K to 8th grade, and then Moravia 9th grade to 11. And I consider myself just like so lucky to be able to attend New Roots, because it definitely was a new beginning for me, and I don't know if I would still be attending school if it wasn't for New Roots. And the atmosphere when you walk into the school is completely different than a public school. It has like high feelings, and everyone who works there is just, it seems like they're there for you, which I never found in a public school. And I would just really like to see it renewed so that other people in my situation could have that new beginning. And that's it. Thank you.
Brooke Greenhouse and Eric.
That's fine. Yeah. Well, go ahead. Never mind us. Go right ahead. The camera's on. Go ahead.
Well, first, thank you all for your time and attention tonight. Unfortunately,
and your name again?
My name is still Brooke Greenhouse. So I thank you for your time and attention. I just want to voice my opinion on the record, first of all, that the timing of this and the notice, I think, is really unfortunate and quite unacceptable. There are a lot of interested stakeholders you can see in having this conversation about what you're trying to evaluate is going on in the school. And just as a taxpayer and a parent, I think that there could have been a much better job getting notice out about this meeting. And from my personal perspective, I'm the longest serving consumer member on the County Board of Health, and we make great efforts to identify appropriate stakeholders with issues of significance, and it really wouldn't have been that hard to get better notice after this meeting so we could become more prepared. So with that being said, in the short amount of time I have, a couple of comments. My son is a great student. He's a smart child. We started out in the Ithaca school district in kindergarten, being told by the kindergarten teacher about all the problems he had, the need for medication. In the course of that conversation, we then discovered that his teacher didn't know that he could read at a second grade level, and they were working out a letter a day. We quickly nipped that in the bud, but we found that there wasn't a lot of great support in the school, and we made some different choices in the interim. So when we embarked on our high school career for our child, we felt the stakes were significantly higher, and we worked very, very hard to find what we felt was the best choice for our child. We weren't looking for something to solve a problem. We were looking for the best choice. And we felt with complete confidence that New Roots was the best choice. And so far, he's just a 9th grader. We haven't been through the whole process. But our son is excited to go to school every day, which is about the best thing you could see for a parent. The homework gets done, there's excellent communication from the staff. The curriculum and the quality of materials that we've seen discussed is top-notch. So I think we really need to continue it and recognize the intention of a charter school is a learning opportunity to feed back to the traditional public school. Thank you for your time.
Nice. Eric Larson, Ella Bard.
Thank you all for listening to us tonight, even if you don't have much of a choice. My name is Eric Larson, also known as 12th Moon. My 2 youngest daughters live with their mother in Newfield, and they've been homeschooled up until last year. My 18-year-old went to a great program at BOCES and is doing really well and loves it. My 15-year-old made the choice on her own that she wanted to go to New Roots. She had visited some other schools with some of her friends. She had some friends who had gone to New Roots. She heard their stories. She checked out New Roots a couple of times. She made the decision on her own. I was a little worried because she'd been homeschooled her whole life. There was a certain amount of freedom for creativity and expression and concentration of effort at certain times that I was afraid would not be offered in the regular structure of the public schools, and New Roots is a public school. But the thing that I saw as soon as she got there, and what she seemed to really thrive in, was a culture that's very different. A culture of inclusion, a culture of including not just people's different cultural backgrounds, religious backgrounds, and belief structures, but also an inclusion of the ability for the child to be creative and to lead a discussion, for them to be really involved in group activities and to really get out of the classroom into practical life. This summer, through part of the program, through CCE and through New Roots, she participated in the Youth Farm Project and spent the summer working up at 3 smaller farms. And she was out there learning group work, learning group effort, learning new skills. She wants to be a chef, and these kind of things are really giving her a background. She wants to go to college, get a degree, and then go to Paris and go to the Culinary Institute and maybe eat meat for the first time in her life. But I really see a culture that's supportive, that's helping to nurture our youth, our future, that really needs to stay. And 5 years from now, when we do this again, could we have better signage too?
Ella Bard, Carol Chambers.
We'll ask the taxpayers for more signage.
Thanks. Help me.
So I'm an 11th grader at New Roots, and I came in as a 9th grader from before being at homeschooling, and I was really nervous to go to school because I've been homeschooled my whole life. And when I got there, I just felt like the teachers really include you in, like, we do a lot of group things, and I don't know, it's just really comfortable there, and I really want to spend my 12th grade there so I can finish up at New Roots. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carol Chambers. Christy French. Christy.
I thought we were going through Carol Chambers first. Sorry.
Okay. I just want to start out by saying that my husband is an Ithaca School District taxpayer. We chose New Roots for the boys. They went to public school for many years. They were depressed. They hated school. They didn't want to learn. When they entered New Roots, I saw enthusiasm for learning. I saw enthusiasm for school. The school spirit, the morale, the support, the faculty-student relationship, the student-student relationship,
The faculty-parent relationship is absolutely unparalleled. I worked in the last school district that we lived in. It was a very good school district. New Roots is the best school I have ever seen. If my son were forced to leave New Roots and go to public school, he would surely become suicidal. I say that very seriously, very seriously, very seriously. My 6th graders are looking forward to the day that they go to New Roots. They've seen the community. They've seen how it works. And New Roots offers something that public schools, regular public schools, do not offer. It offers leadership. The students don't need anti-bullying programs at New Roots. Regular schools, they have anti-bullying programs. New Roots does not need that. The students are the checks and balances. It is a community. It is a family. There is unparalleled teacher-student respect, unparalleled teacher-parent respect. It is a very close-knit community. If this school were to be shut down, it would be a tragedy, nothing less than a tragedy. I hear the story from every child that goes to New Roots. I hear the story from every parent that has a child at New Roots. Please, please understand, it is a community, it's a family, not a regular school. It's not an institution.
Junior X, are there more that have signed up? All right, that's the end of the list that we have of those who signed up. We were going to go for 90 minutes, so if you wish to speak, now is an opportunity to do that. But we're going to need names written down in order to provide that list. And you can go ahead and take a seat. And well, you had your hand up first, but you can sign up after you speak.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and give your name, etc., and we'll keep moving.
Okay. My name is Fran Spate, and I'm the Health, Wellness, and Physical Education teacher at New Roots. I stand in support of New Roots Charter School. I've worked at New Roots for 3 years now as the Physical Education, Health, and Wellness teacher. It is an unusual place to work and go to school, and it is not for everyone. And that is why I am for it. Children are very unique, and each one has their own set of needs, interests, talents, hopes, and dreams. Some people are fortunate and their child thrives in public school of the district they happen to reside in. Others are fortunate and they can afford to send their child to Montessori or Waldorf or a private academy that suits their child's unique set of characteristics. Others are fortunate in that homeschooling works for them. And still others are fortunate in that they have a free alternative choice right here in Ithaca, New Roots Public Charter School. It is this element of choice for all that is so important and keeps us all on our toes. If the homeschools do more for those students who are not happy in order to keep them, great. If private schools do more to attract students who need scholarships or other resources in order to attend, great. If New Roots strives to be the best it can be so it attracts more students, great. This is all win-win because it is about meeting each child where he, she is at and providing the structure and support and tools for that child to learn, grow, and succeed. Some of the students at New Roots decided on New Roots because they were bullied and they did not feel safe or accepted in their own school. Some decided on New Roots because they have special needs and they did not feel that enough was being done for them at their own school. Other students came to New Roots because they were bored and wanted a more hands-on style of learning and a more engaging curriculum. Other students came because they felt they had been labeled as discipline problems and they were hoping for a fresh start and looking for acceptance of their differences. Other students chose New Roots because of its mission statement and curriculum based on sustainability. Whatever the reasons, it is clear that for many students, New Roots is the right choice for them, and that is what matters. As you listen to some of these students tell their stories, rejoice in their feelings of acceptance and their feelings of success. If you then want to imagine how your school could also help these students and others like them, great, get to work. In the meantime, let New Roots do what it is obviously doing, educating and lovingly supporting the students that walk in their doors.
Just go ahead and sign in, and the next.
I think.
Go ahead, come on up.
Yeah, but I can't read. Is it Mo?
Yeah, it's Mo Petkoff.
Okay.
There you go, Mo. All right.
Maxwell.
Sorry, this is a little disorganized. I didn't write anything down, but I came from a school where, in order to fit in, you had to like Chevy trucks, wear camouflage, hunt deer, and wore a John Deere sweatshirt. I wore metal band t-shirts. I liked Volkswagens. I was a vegetarian, and I was completely unfit for the culture of this said high school and middle school. I was heavily bullied for 9 years. When I walked in on my first day of kindergarten that day, I was called stutter boy repeatedly by 5 4th and 5th graders. And my brother was what would be called a OG at New Roots. He began there the first year when New Roots opened, and because of that, I was enrolled as well when I graduated. And I can remember that on my first day of New Roots, I was really nervous. I thought it's going to be another 4 years of being not accepted and not taken in as an actual person. And when I walked in there, I was very alarmed at all the acceptance and all the happiness and all the hugs. And I still have great friends that I'm friends with from my freshman year to my now junior year. I have teachers that are actually asking me if I'm doing okay, how am I in class, is there any way that I can contact your parents so they know which homework you have. That I never got in my old school. I was put in the back of the room because the teachers automatically assumed that I wasn't going to focus on my work. If it wasn't for New Roots, I wouldn't be going to college. I wouldn't even be looking at colleges. I wouldn't be successful in my life. I would have a dead-end job, and I would still be the same depressed, angry, sad person that I was. New Roots changed my life, and it turned my life around.
Thanks, Mark.
Lorraine? Mark?
I'm Lorraine. I came to New Roots with 3 children. My one son started in 9th grade the first year that it opened, and up until that point, all 3 kids had been homeschooled. And he said, this is a new school. He went to some of the learning things about New Roots, and he said, I really want to go, even though he'd been homeschooled the whole time, and we had discussions, and he went, and he really, really liked it. He was accepted and did well, and his brother and sister decided that they would also start in 9th grade and move forward. My one son has graduated. I have a senior and an 11th grader in the school now. And I would just like to say that it's very open. I have been an Ithaca resident my whole life. I went through all of the Ithaca school system. One of my teachers sits there. And
you teach everybody. Sorry, we get more time.
And I am a taxpayer also. And I think that one thing that Ithaca has to offer is diversity. It's wonderful that Ithaca High School is here. It's wonderful that ACS is here. There's no reason that New Roots Charter School cannot also be here. It has been functioning very well for 5 years, and it is drawing in students and excellent teachers, and the students are going on to do wonderful things that they thought they couldn't do. And I really think that I would like to encourage you to renew this charter.
Thanks. And again, you're speaking to CSI and not this board when you ask that please renew this charter, because we do not have that power. Public speaking is not for everybody, but this is still an opportunity to speak if you wish. Those who do not want to really speak in public, write it down. You can get by email or letter, get it to Danielle. We will bundle all. We will bundle all comments that we receive. You can send it directly. Send your comments directly to the Charter School Institute itself. And please state your name, and we'll write it down.
Would you like my full first name, or because I go by Ray, but it's short for Raymond. So
we'll go with your proper name. So feel free.
Ray Vanek Johnson.
Go ahead, Ray.
All right. So first off, I mean, here's the reason why New Roots has really served me. It's because, like, basically, I mean, I'm in favor of New Roots because, like, there's just, well, for one thing that's very important is that, like, people there are friendly and very accepting, and so, like, for instance, if you make an effort to fit in and get along with people, you really can, which I guess I know at some typical schools does not happen, unfortunately. So that's one very important thing. And so that's, yeah. And also the environmental aspect. Like, that's one other reason that's very important there. Like, that the fundamental mission is sustainability and social justice, which we need.
Great.
And yeah, and again, like I said, it's very. The other thing is, like, at New Roots, I'm not overwhelmed with, like, so much work that just stresses me out. I can get the amount that I need to actually learn, but I don't have to be overloaded if I don't need as much work to learn. And another very important point I want to make now is, like, often it's said that, like, oh, well, that we just don't have it together. You know what? I mean, at any school, unfortunately, it's life that there's gonna be problems, and I feel like in the last year we've really gotten it together. That's what New Roots is about. So yeah, thanks. Thanks everybody.
All right, Ray gets applause.
Everyone gets applause.
Yeah. A few more. Well, we'll take it. Looks like we'll take this group, and that'll be about it for tonight. So go ahead and take whoever wrote down first. Go sit and start talking. You're on camera, so go ahead and start. We're not done here yet, so please go ahead and respect the speakers that will speak right now, and please tell us your name and.
I'm Ashley LaCarter. Not really a big public speaker, really makes me nervous, but I'm from Dryden High School, and I transferred to New Roots last year. And I have to say, New Roots is amazing. Like, it's literally, like, changed my whole outlook on, like, life. It makes me want to, like, go out in the world and do things, and I learn well. It's a great environment to be in. Everybody's happy. The teachers are amazing. I don't even know. Like, I would recommend anyone, well, who, like, went through a hard high school situation and can't, like, I don't know, like, I was kind of, like, bullied a little bit, and I didn't fit in at my old school, and I was just looking for a change, and I came here, and I found it, and I love it. And I would recommend anyone who went through a tough situation in high school or is in one now to transfer and basically change how, like, change their life. It's, like, amazing, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. And Judy Max will get the next names. If you're whoever signed up next, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, I'm Wade Engelhart. I'm an Ithaca High School student, and I just want to get a
put a quick outside perspective here because I'm nor against nor for New Roots School. Like, I have friends that go there, I hear about it all the time, but I just want to throw out a few points. In elementary school, I was like one of those kids. I hated learning, hated going to school every day, all that. They wanted to put me on Adderall till 3rd grade. It was a tough time. But I think it's not so much the situation I was put in, but I just need to develop as a person before I finally realized that school isn't so bad and I enjoyed it and I found something I love doing. So I think it's all about the person. And at that point, earlier in this meeting, we were all talking about statistics, attendance, policies, such and such. And I think you're looking at statistics that are kind of flawed because the same kids who would be skipping class at any other school now go to this school. So how can you blame the school for the students who would skip class regardless of what school they were at? That's really all I have to say.
Nice.
Not applauding. Go ahead, Jude.
Jane Whiting. Whiting.
Well, go ahead.
Malika Whitfield after?
Just Malachi Whitfield.
Well done.
There you go. Go ahead.
I'm Jane Whiting. I came from Odessa Montour School District. I was a founding student at New Roots and graduated last year. I want to talk about one experience I had in particular, actually early on at New Roots. I want to start by saying at Odessa Montour, I thrived. I was a very great student at Odessa Montour, and I chose New Roots because I wanted to try something a little bit different. And at Odessa, I wanted to be an architect. I decided I wanted to be an architect, and they set me up with all the right drafting classes to get me into a good college. But when I came to New Roots, I took all the math classes that I needed to take. They didn't have drafting, but what they did do was set me up with internships with kitchen designers and John Snyder Architects at downtown Ithaca. And for the first 2 years, first year with the kitchen designer, second year with the architecture office. And working at the architecture office, I started to learn that I wasn't really into the traditional architecture profession. And had I stayed at Odessa Montour, I would have loved all the drafting classes. I would have thought, like, yeah, this is exactly what I want to do. But getting the real-world experience that New Roots offered that I would not have had the access to at my school really gave me perspective on what I actually wanted, so I could rethink and figure that out before I spent $40,000 on 1 year of college to do my first internship.
Thank you.
Thank you. Malachi, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I went to New Roots Charter School for all 4 years of my high school experience, and I bloomed socially and academically there. I'd say New Roots definitely was the reason for that. But perhaps the most important thing that I took away from that school is the ability to view things in a systematic fashion. They teach kids to look at different pieces of a whole and analyze them so that you can achieve a higher understanding of the problem itself. And that's a fairly important thing, a fairly important skill for any person in today's society to have, to be able to determine what is important and what isn't important about any problem facing this community and larger communities. And with the ability to think systematically, I think that I'll be able to go much further in life than I would have been able to if I lacked that skill. But yeah. All right.
Thank you. Okay.
Is there anyone before me or?
No, you're fine. That's good.
My name is Ian French, and I went to Bath before I came to New Roots. I was in Bath for pretty much my entire life. And I was bullied a lot there. I ended up, by my junior year, going to 30% of my classes and passing 30% of my classes. I quit lacrosse, I quit track, I quit football. I never tried basketball. No, I always wanted to because of the bullying and because of the disconnect that I felt from coaches, teachers, students in the school. And I came to New Roots expecting the same situation, but what I found was the exact opposite. I graduated in, I forget the year, Yeah, I graduated then. But it was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago, and what I found was that upon arriving in New Roots, I was welcomed by students and staff very warmly, and I ended up participating in things like Power Shift and environmental activism. And I think a big part of that is the fact that New Roots challenges students to question themselves as well as the world at large, and further seek to change that, and develop into themselves, and change the world around them rather than conforming to what is already set upon them, which is the founding idea of America. Not to relate this to patriotism or anything like that, but I feel as though the traditional public high school, instead of challenging the student to question the world and question the systems that are in place, I feel as though the traditional public high school instead tries to fit students into a mold. It's all about standardized testing and passing standardized tests, especially here in New York, where we have things like Regents exams, and that's the ultimate goal of the school. Thank you. I realize that. New Roots creates world citizens as opposed to molds, which is
Thank you.
important. Yeah, thank you.
They? Zach's?
That would be me.
Brought a computer, right? Brought a computer, right?
So
No, I know.
Did I
Well, please state your name and you've got.
I'm Ari Zachs. I'm an NHS senior. I think facts matter, I think numbers matter, and I think reality matters. Some things that I don't think matter as much as those are what we must acknowledge has been a vastly unrepresentative sample of how the Ithaca community must feel about New Roots, dubiously sourced Einstein quotes, and a sense of community that is, I don't doubt that it exists, but it's not quite as important, I think. Money is limited, and we have to decide what causes deserve our resources. And while I feel sympathy for people who have been misfits in regular public schools, I have not seen evidence that New Roots should be maintained for them.
Thank you.
Annette Robert. And Eric Goodman.
Hello, I'm Annette Roberts. I have 2 kids that go to the school, and I actually was late to the meeting a little bit because my son, among other people, were in their soccer game. They were just finishing up. New Roots has a soccer game. It's a very small school, and they still have the funding and the support and the morale to be able to create a team, and a fantastic team at that. So within the community, you might hear that, oh, New Roots is a school for misfits. Well, if you're talking about misfits being creators, believers, artists, musicians, individualists, and having an attitude of commitment and dedication and hope and dreaming, that's New Roots, then sure, it's full of misfits. But they're not misfits in that sense. They're actually students who have had, including mine too, who have been bullied, who've had a hard time in public school, sitting there with the basic schedule, with their head in the books, just from morning to afternoon, not being able to be individuals. And not to say that in public school you can't be individuals, we all know you can be no matter where you are, but there's more of a focus on creativity and individuality at New Roots. It's a smaller scale. I've had amazing progress with my children. My daughter was bullied in high school. She wouldn't be in school if it wasn't for New Roots right now. My son had behavior issues and he had academic issues, and New Roots has been their foundation and they've supported them. Public school didn't work. The charter school, New Roots, works really well because of the individuality and because the teachers and the students have excellent relationships. And there's such a good community of students, The school in the making has its ups and downs financially, socially, competitively with the other schools and stuff, but through it, the students and the teachers and everybody have stood together, and they've really been a family. And I think that this school is an excellent opportunity for the Ithaca community. I came to Ithaca because of the school.
Thank you.
And we have our last speaker, I believe.
Okay. Hi, my name is Mary Gooding, and I am a second-year teacher at New Roots Charter School. I teach statistical modeling and science for the senior year program, and I'm also the dance instructor. So being a statistics teacher myself, I completely understand looking at statistics for evaluation and also the importance of quantitative data. I'll be brief with this being the last speaker. But saying that, I feel that in our education system, in recent years, we've been looking to find the link between inquiry-based learning and place-based studies, hands-on learning where students are going out in the community and making a real change, influencing the community in a positive way, and then incorporating that into their lives after high school. We're looking to link that with the quantitative data of test scores. So what I ask to the CSI, the Charter Schools Institute, is that simply that you give us the time to show you what we can do in creating that link between inquiry-based learning, place-based, community-based learning, and the quantitative data that we need to show you we're a success. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you walk in with a crutch and limping, we give you a chance to talk.
That's sneaky. That's sneaky.
Now we have our last speaker. We're still within our time, and so feel free.
My name's Liesl James. I'm a student at New Roots Charter School, and I'm a little delayed because of my giving. I was playing soccer and I hurt myself. But to the point, I am not your typical New Roots student. I am a high-achieving 4.0 student. I score very well on tests. I do well. I come to school, I go to class every single day, and I encourage everybody else to do the same. The reason that I came to New Roots is very different from most people who are in this room, I think. I'm originally from Colorado. I moved here at the beginning of my junior year. I moved out here 6 weeks before the rest of my family came out because I wanted the opportunity to come to a great school. I was originally at a charter school. This is my 3rd high school. Not because of behavioral issues or because of any type of bullying or stress, but because I wanted academic opportunities that could challenge me. And I moved out from Colorado to New York State for New Roots Charter School. I came all this way because I want to be a theater student. I want great theatrical opportunities, which Ithaca offers. And in talking to the people at New Roots in the summer, before my junior year, they promised me all of these amazing, wonderful things, which have happened. I was given the opportunity to have college classes taught at my high school, the opportunity to go to TC3 and take college courses, but also the opportunity for internships and work with theater professionals. I have a very strong connection with the people at the Kitchen Theater. I did an internship with them for a couple of weeks, which was wonderful. And New Roots Charter School is a school where you're not only offered the opportunity for a great community and leadership opportunities, but you're given rigorous academics, which is something that people often question of a new charter school. And yes, New Roots is new. It's a baby charter school. It still doesn't have all of its kink worked out, but as Mary stated, given some time to work through the little bumps, New Roots will be an amazing school. Thank you.
Thank you. That's about it. That's it for everyone that signed up, everyone that was in the room at this point, and we're going to wrap it up. We are not sending a transcript. The actual tape goes to the CSI. They will be able to view it. We've done this before, and that's how we've shared the information. So there's no interpretation of what you said. It is what you said, and that is what they will see. Again, if you have written comments to the community, they're certainly encouraged, and we will move it on, and we're done. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.